I started this build off with a breadboard prototype. Here each button is connected to ground and a pin on the Arduino, and each pin on the Arduino has an internal pull-up resistor. So whenever the buttons are pressed, the pin will read as low because the button will pull the pin to ground. And if the button is not pressed, then the Arduino will see the pin as high. So this code is not very optimized, but start off by declaring a bunch of variables, one for each button that I want. So there's an up button, down, left, right, A, B, X, Y, bumper, trigger, escape, and enter button. And each button is set to a pin on the Arduino, and then also there's another variable that determines what button it simulates on the computer. And then in the setup, every single pin is set to input pull up, and then I read each pin on the Arduino and set it to a variable. Then I check each pin's value, and if there's a change, I send that change to the computer using the keyboard release or keyboard press function, depending on if you press or release the button. So I thought mechanical key switches would be a good button to use for this project because they have a really nice feel, and I was able to get 65 of them for $15 used on eBay. So that's 23 cents per switch instead of like you'd have to pay $2 for an arcade button. I used Fusion 360 for the modeling. The first thing I did was make the key switch, and then I created a button on top of it, and then I copy and pasted them around into the layout that I wanted for the buttons. Then I made a frame for them to all sit in, and then I made a little box underneath the frame, and then I made a cover that holds that frame in place. And the frames is the first thing that I printed. So that's what it looks like when it's all assembled. So to assemble this, I took the plate for the buttons that I printed, and I put a bunch of the buttons in and flipped it over, and then I was able to solder this wire to one pin of each of the buttons, and this is the ground wire that they all connect to. And then I connected a yellow wire to the other pin of each button and to a pin on the Arduino.
Hello, Potion said. I am going into battle, and I want your strongest potions.
After the key switches are soldered in place, the assembly is pretty straightforward. You just put all the pieces together and bolt it together with M3 screws. Each button has its own pin on the Arduino, and it can be set to any keyboard button, so you can customize the controls by just reprogramming the Arduino.